Something happened recently and you can't stop thinking about it. You raised your voice, maybe even not that loud, but a sharp rise, an impatient tone, and your child flinched. Just a small movement, but noticeable. A physical reaction, like they were bracing for something. And in that fraction of a second, something changed inside of you. Because that's not a child reacting to noise, that's a child reacting to something that dad's going to do next. I want to talk about that with you today and what it means, what it doesn't mean, and what we're going to do from here out. If you're watching this, you're already doing the most important thing. You noticed, and you're looking for a way that you can change it. You didn't explain it away. You didn't tell yourself that it was nothing. You sat with it, and it bothered you enough to look for an answer. That matters. Let's be honest with what that flinch means, because it doesn't mean nothing. It means something. Because pretending it meant nothing is not going to help you or your child. A flinch is a protective response. It's your child's nervous system reacting to your tone, your temperament. It's telling it something to protect it from that possibly something could be coming. That's not a character judgment on you. This is something that has developed over time. It tells you that the volume and unpredictability of your voice is steadily increased over your time, and like I said, your kid's nervous system is starting to protect itself. It's starting to protect your kid from what's coming next. That's what it means. It's not the end of the story, but it's the truth of where we are right now. Here's what it doesn't mean. It doesn't mean you've broken your child. Children are remarkably resilient. And the fact this is still happening, and the child still runs to you and still comes up to you for a hug and still says they love you, that means something. They're not completely broken. The relationship is strained, but it's still there. This doesn't mean that you're a bad person. This just means that a pattern has developed over time, and there are consequences from the past behavior. You haven't seen those behaviors, or you haven't recognized that those behaviors are doing harm until now. And it doesn't mean it's too late. The flinch can go away. The flinch goes away the same way it appeared, with experience over time, repeated exposure to the new experiences. Your child learned this response over time, the flinch, and it can be unlearned over time. The truth of this moment is the flinch is not the verdict, it's a signal. And you're here because of that signal. What living with anger does to a child. I want to tell you a little about what happens when children grow up around anger. Not to make you feel bad, but just to give you some insight. Because understanding this impact will give you motivation to change. 1. They become hypervigilant. Children in homes with anger, they become very good at reading the room. They watch for signals. They watch for your body language. They watch for your tone of voice. They learn to manage you before you even need to know you managing yourself. That hypervigilance in a child, it's exhausting for them, when they could be better using that time for play or for learning or for doing something instead of managing your anger internally. 2, they start to self-regulate your moods. So they go quiet when you come home. They stop asking for things. They stop asking for help. They wait to see what version of their dad came home tonight. And once they know a version, then they decide how they're going to act. That's not great for a child. That's a child who's learned how to survive, your moods. 3, it affects how they see themselves. Children who are frequently on the end of anger, they start to internalize and feel that they are responsible for how you're acting. Are they being too loud? Are they doing the wrong thing all the time? That if their dad gets angry, it must be something wrong. There must be something wrong with them. Even when you know it's not about them, they don't know that yet. This is where the line, "It's not about you, it's about me," in one of my previous videos, comes into effect. That's why we don't use that line. 4, the flinch becomes the baseline. If the pattern continues long enough, the flinch becomes ingrained. Their nervous system stays in a low-level threat every time they're around you, even on the good days. They can't fully relax about being around you. Part of them is on edge all of the time. This is the turning point. None of this is permanent. Every one of these responses can reverse with consistent behavior over time. The child who flinched today can be the child who runs towards you next year. But it takes time and consistency, not just better days. Okay, where do we go from here? Number 1, don't address the flinch directly, not yet. You don't want to go up to them and start talking about, "Oh, you flinched," because that makes it really hard on them. They don't want to admit that they flinched and that was something that you caused, and that's why they did it. They don't have the language on how to communicate with that yet. What they do need is a consistent change in your behavior so they get to start feeling more comfortable around you. 2, lower your volume permanently. Keep your voice at a low level consistently over time. A child who has learned to flinch at a raised voice needs to experience a voice that doesn't go up. So when it occasionally does, because we're not all perfect, there won't be a flinch to it because the baseline will be low. 3, build safety in the ordinary moments. The repair doesn't happen in big conversation and grand gestures. It happens in the Tuesday night dinners, in the getting down on the floor and playing. It comes when just you're sitting with them, being present. You don't even have to have a conversation. You just watch what they're doing, watch what they're enjoying. This is you just being physically and emotionally calm time and time again. This is the consistency in showing up. 4, manage the glass of water before you get home. Make sure your glass is a level 3 instead of an 8 before you walk through that door. This is an upstream change that I mentioned in one of my previous videos about the glass of water technique, about emptying your glass before you get home. 5, keep showing up. Consistency. It beats everything time and time again. The flinch won't disappear after one good week. This is a process that we go to. Depending on how far along you've gone, will depend on how much you need to go back the other way and not retrain, but help your child's nervous system reprogram itself. There will be setbacks and daily slip-ups. But what I can tell you is look at how far you've come rather than look at where you are not quite yet. It's more important to focus on consistency in what you're doing than look at where you are. What your child needs more than anything is not a perfect dad, but a predictable one. Safe and calm day after day. The dad that noticed that flinch went looking for answers. That's not a bad dad. That is a dad who is paying attention and looking for change. You didn't ignore it. You're here. That single act, noticing the flinch, thinking to yourself it's not right, and then going and doing something about it. That's where change starts. This is the beginning of your journey. Your child's nervous system learns something over time, as I said. So it's going to take consistent new reprogramming or new behavior over time to get where you want to go. The last thing I want to leave you with is that your child still reaches for you. This is the beginning. There's still something there. There is things there that can be worked upon. The repair process, what to do over the next day, the next week, the next month, next year, is all my Beyond Anger Method course, which is down in the link below. I also have my ebook, which is Less Than a Tank of Gas. That's in the bit below if you want to start tonight. There's also some free check sheets and other stuff that's invaluable to help you get through what you're going through tonight or today. See you in the next video.